Hello, everyone. Happy 2023. I hope you all entered the year in a very positive way. Um, I know that, well, it, it must have not been so agile and so energetic as some of us would have liked. But yeah, the cosmos was inviting us to slow a little bit and to take life in a slower pace. So I hope you all that you all could be gentle and peaceful throughout this first weeks of the months. And here I am. So I haven't been here since last year, and so um, it's the first new moon of 2023. So here I am, and it's a very interesting one because it's an Aquarius one, and this year we are going to have a sneak peek also of Pluto in Aquarius. So it's very interesting just starting the year with this vibes of the Aquarian vibes. So for this new moon, it happens here in Portugal on the 21st of January, exactly at 7 to 8 p.m. So I hope it's going to be a good one. In my opinion, it's a very positive one since all the retrograde motions. So we have the Sun and the Moon conjunct in the first degree of Aquarius, still conjunct also to Pluto in Capricorn, in the very last degrees of Capricorn. We also have this new moon ruled by Saturn, the ancient ruler Saturn, in Aquarius, and also conjunct Venus. So it's actually very positive in my opinion and in my perspective. And then we also have Mercury in Capricorn already in its direct motion, the same way that Mars, which is in Gemini, and they both were retrograding for the New Year's Eve. So that's why we may have felt a little bit maybe agitated in the mind and not so energetic physically. Some of us were actually very exhausted or very tired, depending on each one's chart. So you'd have to look it up to understand if this was something that was very very important for you and impactful for you or not. But still, most of us actually felt this way. But still, they're both already in its direct motion. They just started. And the only retrograding planet that we have at the moment is Uranus, and it's going to also return to the direct motion next week. So we are in this edge of getting back our full full energy and coming back with the full power to actually now maybe start the year in full power. So just speaking a little bit about the aspects that are here in the sky for this new moon. As I said, for me this is a very light and positive one and optimistical one. We have this new moon starting in Aquarius, still in a conjunction with Pluto, and this may be it can be the only intense and still not so comfortable aspect of it all. Pluto is in the last degrees of Capricorn, and it's going to have its first sneak peek into Aquarius later in March. So it's like it's finishing its business in Capricorn. And Pluto in Capricorn basically has been asking us to review individually how we are dealing with old structures. How are we imprisoned in old structures and old rules just because it's the only ones that we know and the only ones that that we have been told that were the right ones to follow. And even if not collectively, but individually, like emotional structures or relationships that we have been keeping just for the sake of not knowing exactly what can come after that, or how to create new ones, and not trusting our own ability to regenerate afterwards. And so this is something, or any rule that we have been following, financial, socially, politically. Maybe this is something that we still have to review for the next years, until Pluto just completely moves into Aquarius, not coming back to Capricorn anymore. And this is still 2 years to go. Still, this time, I think it's an interesting moment, because we are here on the edge of Capricorn and Aquarius. So we have the new moon happening in Aquarius, reminding us of the Aquarius ideals or values of freedom, of humanity, of humanitarian values, and of course equality. So it's like, how are the structures that I have been following my whole life, in relationships, or emotional, or psychological, or even like real structures in my life, or in the society that that I still choose to be a part of. How am I being also complacent with this complacent? I don't think this word exists. Anyways, how am I supporting the structures that I actually don't trust, and that I actually don't think that they are creating, and they are at service for humanity, and maybe they're actually taking away everyone's freedom, and taking away equality. So this is a good moment for us to do another check on that, individually and collectively. How are my decisions, or my choices being still coming from a place of fear, or guilt, or shame, from the possibility of moving away from this past structures that are maybe not so accepted by society in general. And how am I able to move towards something that maybe it's totally new and visionary, and it may seem crazy for some because it's not normal, it's not within the norms, the Capricorn norms. But actually, it may bring us a little bit more equality and freedom for all. But at the same time, we have to understand that. So it's not that we have to understand. I'm sorry. I apologize for my language. But the sun and the moon being in Aquarius, and being ruled by the ancient ruler of Saturn, also in Aquarius, and together with Venus, it comes to remind us again about our commitment to those ideals, to those Aquarian ideals, and of course of how responsible I am for the choices, and for the actions that I choose to take towards building that free society, and a more humanitarian society, and equal. And of course, individually speaking, then this conjunction also with Venus, it's of course again how are my relationships, and how are my partnerships, better said, and also my financial structures and or financial choices are actually giving me some kind of freedom, and at the same time committing to providing freedom to the ones that I'm in relationship to, or also bringing equality to everyone around me. So how am I able to commit to building some safety for myself, financially, for example, but also making sure that I'm also contributing for other ones' safety and security and stability, better said, and stability, financial stability. So it's not about just building my own, but also making sure that I'm contributing to others, to freedom and to equality in every level. So it's also a good moment for me to review if I feel free in those relationships, or with the financial structure that I have implemented at the moment, and how could I do it in a different way. Also, in a very positive aspect, we have the sun and the moon also going in the direction of a sextile with Jupiter. Jupiter is in the 1st degrees of Aries. So again, what I was saying about not feeling so energetic and so agile and so full of power in the beginning of the year, maybe now it can come, or it can start to come again. So this enthusiasm and this courage and the strength, the physical strength to actually start going after something, after what we want. Having Jupiter, it brings a little bit of optimism and the ability to see the opportunities ahead, or the opportunities that we already have, so the blessings that we already have. And so feeling a little bit more confident about the future and about creating, the ability to create the future, and maybe create something very different from the past 2 years, because they have been, or the past 3 years, that they have been quite intense. And also, in a very positive aspect, we have Mercury also going towards a trine of a very harmonious aspect with Uranus. So basically, they're both rulers of air signs. Well, actually, Mercury also rules an earth sign, but taking here this aspect of air over earth, so they're both in earth signs here, and basically it gives us the possibility to use our minds, to use our intellect, to not only process and understand the reality around us, and the situations and whatever we need to put our mind into, but also to create it, to envision something, and to use our minds to actually create and achieve and put our efforts in the right directions. Also to not only to achieve something that we want, to create those structures that we want to create for ourselves, but also to keep them, and to keep the focus there and the patience and the resilience towards that. So the ability to overcome any kind of thing, any kind of challenges that we may see along the way. There is this ability to be very practical and rational towards that, and very objective in creating new solutions. Uranus and Taurus, creating new solutions to actually keep and to make sure that that I'm moving towards something new, and that brings more sustainability for everyone, and also for our existence, basically. So I think I've covered it all. So in this, well, it's of course a shorter version, but in my perspective, this is actually very positive. And again, this Mercury together with Uranus in Earth signs, it's like, how can I use my mind into my in my benefit, in my own benefit, to create my own reality. How can I use it consciously to my own benefit, basically, to create not only the freedom and to create equality and a more humanitarian society that has to get started with me. So, and how can I commit to that in every decision possible, of course. So this is my take on this new moon. I hope it's optimistic enough so that it gives you a little boost also to trust yourself to go for that. And we'll see each other in the next full moon in Leo. And so until then, take care of yourselves and be mindful. Bye.